It's about damn time. Imagine a world where Superman had finally had enough of everyone's bullshit after losing his family, and he decides to go on a murderous rampage. And the first person that he murders, why, the man who causes him to kill his own family and most of Metropolis, the Joker. Needless to say, once he goes too far, the only one that can stop him is Batman with a lot of prep time. Oh, and he's gonna need all the prep time he can get because the scenario in question is literally a comic book known as Injustice: Gods Among Us. By the way, the comic came out before the actual game that I'm reviewing. And this game is made by Netherrealm, which covers the first part, sort of. Because it is written by Dominic Ciancelo. Yes, he's backed by High End Talent, but that name's a curse word in the Mortal Kombat community. But nonetheless, I will still fairly review this fighting game by covering the pros and the cons of a game that should have been what Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe isn't. Actually good, and also predominantly DC, but I digress. So sit back and relax as I review Injustice: Gods Among Us. With that said, let's go! For a definitive edition, Netherrealm started the penchant of having content tied between a phone game and also the WBID. I really wish they stopped doing that, but they doubled and tripled down in later games. And speaking of things they doubled and tripled down on, DLC! If you didn't get the definitive edition. If you did, you wouldn't have to worry about this. If you don't, well, too bad for you, because the Xbox 360 and PlayStation versions of this game, the only versions that matter, by the way, can no longer access this DLC, so you're better off getting the definitive edition. With that said, I wish Netherrealm would have actually put all the content on day one. And you might as well just add on Star Labs, because here's the thing. Star Labs may be the one thing that may unlock certain costumes, but the problem is that too is locked behind a paywall because some of the costumes that are DLC are also behind Star Labs, and you gotta get the Ultimate Edition in order for to get Star Labs completed. And then there is the story itself. The biggest and only problem with the story, the copious amount of Bat-God. No, I'm not joking, folks. What you see here is a fight at the tail end of Wonder Woman's story. Mind you, there is 2 chapters with regular Batman and Insurgents Batman. While regular Batman was the start of it, that's understandable. Insurgents Batman did not need his own chapter. This did not need to be a fight at the tail end of Wonder Woman's story. Hell, you could have used Batgirl, Zatanna, or Martian Manhunter. Guys that are DLC, mind you. Or even Nightwing. You could have used, like, Nightwing from another dimension to take on Batman. But no. You have Insurgents Batman taking on regular Batman. This is beyond stupid. And this is the main reason why people think Bat-God is just way too much. Oh, and never mind the clash system. Whenever you face opponents in the class system, well, guess what? There's a good chance that you're gonna lose even though you're winning the game, and you may give them more health. Hell, there's even the fact that you can spam supers just like you just saw earlier. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end this and go straight to the pros. Well, there is some good news. A majority of the Injustice characters are voiced by the original Justice League voice cast. Although the Joker is not one of them, he's voiced by Richard Epcar. Batman is voiced by none other than the late great Kevin Conroy, and I can appreciate that. Also, the fact that combat is fast paced, and moreover, you have to stick with your character's strengths and weaknesses in order for you to continue, because guess what? Once that bar goes down, the time doesn't reset, so you can't stall. It's basically fast-paced action, and moreover, you've got destructible environments, or interactable environments, if you will. This is the first Netherrealm game that actually did that. You thought it was Mortal Kombat X? Nope, this game did it. You goes from dropping cars to throwing barrels to smacking opponents into Gorilla Grodd, who will be playable in the next game. But I digress. Still, it is a change of pace and a tide changer in the midst of battle, and moreover, destructible environments can make it to where you'll be able to end battles much more quickly. And by the way, you do have groups of characters that did survive in the Injustice timeline, be it Batman, be it Bane, be it Nightwing, and yes, there's even fans of Solomon Grundy and Killer Frost. You will have a character to pick from, including the DLC if you're using the Ultimate Edition, and that makes things a lot better because of the variety of characters. And now on to the rating. With the pros and cons compiled, it is now time to give a rating to this game. Injustice Gods Among Us Ultimate Edition will get the rating of great. And there's only a few reasons why I can't give it anything higher or lower. I can't give it anything lower because of the microtransactions, the class system, and the super abuse. Yeah, can't really deal with that. And also the Bat God in the story. Seriously, pills as a plot device, that's just terrible. But on the plus side, you got the original Justice League VAs, at least most of them, playing as your favorite heroes and villains. And moreover, you got fast-paced combat where people can't stall the game in interactable environments. And moreover, you can pick the game up and play it at any given time because it's not tied to a live server. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.